Rev up your engines! Cop says, Firestone scammed me. I went to Firestone. They said you could wait an hour to get your tires balanced, so I waited. When I inspected the tires, they hadn't even been rotated. When confronted, the representative said they've rotated and he was the one who helped. He saw it and helped them do it. But here comes the interesting part. I have a Garmin dash cam, which filmed the whole thing and showed they didn't do anything. They drove around the block and brought it to me. What should I do? Well, you got proof, right? Go to the owner. Not even the manager. Contact the owner of the Firestone and say, you demand 4 new tires for fraud. The guy tells you he helped do it. He's a lying scumbag. And I see that all the time at these places. I mean, it's unfortunate, but they just don't care. And they just figured, oh, this guy's stupid. How does he know if he rotated the tires or not? Well, some guys I know will even mark the inside of the tires just to see if it's been done. But you got a dash cam. It showed they didn't rotate anything, right? Go to the owner and say you want new tires. And if he doesn't gonna do that, get a lawyer contacted and sue him for fraud. These people need to be put in their place. You know, there's crooks out there, and there's some real crooks like that, where they didn't even do the work, and they lied. I would also demand of the owner to fire the service rep that you had who said he helped and did it. Because he's a lying piece of garbage. He lied to your face and you have proof that it wasn't done. He said, no, I was there. It's insane how much these people will lie. The big lie. And then they just keep lying about it. You got proof that they didn't do it. Yet they're still saying that they didn't do it. I mean, it's too much, but yeah, contact the owner, not even the manager, the owner. And I would demand that that guy got fired. That's what happened when I did a video on a Toyota dealer where they charged $12,000 too much for this little old lady. And they said, oh, well, too bad, you signed the contract, yada, yada. Well, guess what happened soon after that? I made the video, she got 12 grand check back, and guess what? The sales guy, he was fired. You know, there's always something that can be done, and the owner of that shop, to save face, should fire that service rep. He should be thrown out on the street. Well, here's a wild one I've never even seen before. Get an email from a fan. I got a 99 Camry with a nice sound system I switched over, all the interior and exterior LEDs. Every time I hit the brake pedal, my FM radio turns to static, but only on certain channels. This happens when I replace the rear window, which is also where the antenna is. But this isn't the weirdest part. It only distorts the stations I care about, like NPR. All religious stations and rap music stations come in crystal clear. My question is, have you ever seen this? I've seen similar things, not ones that, you know, will get rid of the stations you like and keep the ones you can't stand. When you replace that rear window, you did something to the antenna system. It just so happens that you live in an area where you're closer to the rap stations and the religious stations, or they have a lot more power. They're throwing more wattage out than the other stations are. So you're not going to get the reception of the further away stations. So I know for a fact, all the places I've ever lived, the NPR stations had the weakest wattage. They had the least bit of money to spend for broadcasting, and that's probably what it is. Your antenna's just not working right. It isn't some massive plot by aliens to, you know, subvert your mind, to make you listen to all the religious stations and the rap stations and not NPR. It just so happens that NPR generally has less power out, and so you're only getting the stronger ones. Fix your antenna, or if you want, put another antenna on. You can easily put a different antenna on if you want. Shenanigans Golgart says, SOS, stinking car. Car dashboard vibrating like a jackhammer and stinking. First time question asking here. I got a 2010 Chevy Impala. At the end of the summer I was driving, and the plastic grate covering the vent is suddenly broken. Couldn't see any pieces going down there, but now it smells. I went inside a few days ago, started up. It smelled like nothing I ever smelled. I mean, I was a cop and an EMT. I smelled everything I could imagine, and this was disgusting. I turned the air on full and it stunk even more, and the dash thuds. Help. Well, obviously something is melting or smoldering inside there. And you said it thuds. First, take out your blower motor assembly. Realize the blower motor, the big fan on it, the squirrel cage fans, those are made out of plastic. If something hit it, or if something got hot and it melted, it's going to thump and thump and make all kinds of noise. That's probably where the noise is coming from. Now, the smell. GMs have problems with two things. The blower motor resistor and the wiring are cheaply made. A lot of times the wiring gets too hot, it starts to melt, and the resistor burns out. That could be what's burning out. And some of those actually had soy-based wire coating to keep the electric wires inside, right? Well, that's organic. And if that would melt, it could easily rot and stink. So check the wiring too. I would bet more that the wiring is melting and stunking. If it's organic, it'll rot, and then mold and bacteria will get in there. That's what it's got to be. So start by pulling out the motor and the blower assembly. You'll find something's rotten in the dash of your Impala, in this case. Bob Fox said. I got an '07 Toyota Corolla. Bought the car from a friend of mine. I finally got a code. PO121, so I replaced the throttle body. That didn't work with the used part. Then I got a new part. I replaced the air filter, spark plugs, all kinds of stuff. Even changed the map sensor. It's still doing it. Help. I can just about guarantee you the problem that you have is either your fuel pump isn't pumping enough, which is a very common problem as they age, or your fuel injectors are actually somewhat dirty. Since you had that throttle code, I'm thinking it's a fuel injector. Sometimes they be replaced. You tried seafoam. That doesn't clean them anyways. It's useless stuff on a modern car. So try this. Go out and get a real cleaner. It's called BG cleaner. BG like a big guy. Use a couple bottles of those over the next 300-400 miles. See what happens. I've done that in people's cars that cleared them up entirely. If that doesn't, watch my video. How to clean fuel injectors without removal, Scotty. Type that in YouTube, watch it. You could easily have a pro pressure clean them and you go back to normal. Because with that kind of mileage and that age, sometimes they do need to be cleaned and it will hesitate like that. Whalen Webster 6 says, vehicles eating alternators. I got an '07 Toyota Highlander V6, 220,000 miles. It's gone through 5 alternators last couple of years. The original went out in 2009, so I replaced with a rebuild advanced auto one. Bad idea. It ate 3 of those before I got a good one, and then it lasted quite some time. But they keep going. Why could they keep going up? Numero uno. The battery is charged by the alternator. The battery makes the electricity to excite the alternator to make it charge. A weak battery will keep eating up alternators. One, I would start with buying a high quality battery. Buy like a 1,000 cranking amp Duralast battery. That might solve your problems entirely. Now, you could be getting totally crap rebuilt alternators. Yes, there's no arguing that. That's part of your problem. But if that's not the case, check all the connectors, the battery terminals, all the wiring. If they're loose or corroded, that builds up corrosion, makes the alternator work too high and it'll burn out. But my guess is you got a crappy battery, put a higher amperage battery in, like a Duralast 1,000 ampere, and make sure you're getting a quality alternator and not some cheap piece of junk from Advanced Auto. That's probably most of your problem because I never see that stuff in any Toyota I ever worked on. I don't buy those. The ones I buy, I don't have any problems with. And if I do, I go to a different company from then on. Memphis McGee says, I disconnected my map sensor, cleaned it, and now it doesn't run right. I got an '07 Jeep Liberty. I tuned it up. I made sure I disconnected the map sensor and let it air dry thoroughly. It's in a limp hold mode. 3 lights are on. Check engine light, the traction control light, and the emissions control light. How do I fix it? You did it correctly. Disconnected everything right, let it dry. It could just be that your map sensor was on its way out, spraying a cleaner. It is a caustic material. Could be enough to have broken the wire and now it doesn't work anymore. What I would do if I were you, if you know how to analyze it, plug in the data, little scan tool, look at the MAF airflow sensor, see if it makes sense or not, or pay a mechanic like myself to check it. And then you could see, okay, it's either dead or it's giving bad data, it needs replacing now. Or, what the heck, places like AutoZone, they have very good return policies. Buy a MAF sensor from them, put it in, and if it runs right, that fixes the problem. If it doesn't, take it back. They'll generally give you your money back. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. That's the easy, fastest check. It probably damaged it. It can happen. I've seen it happen. Because if it's that old and something goes on when you spray clean it, it's caustic enough that it can finish off a mass airflow sensor that was on its way out anyways. All right, you want trucks that can tow? The 2022 Ford F-250 Super Duty can tow 22,800 pounds. That's a lot of weight. Yes, they can tow a lot. There's no arguing that. And that's rated weight. They can tow a lot more than that, but they're showing you the safety weight. You're driving 70 miles an hour. I've seen people tow 38,000 pounds with some of them, but they're only going 30, 35, and they're being very careful. But this is the actual rated they can tow all the time. But if you really want to go heavy, go to the 2022 Ford F-350 Super Duty. It can tow 35,750 pounds. Now that's a lot of towing power. Realize all diesel engines, of course. But not to be outdone, the 2021 GMC Sierra can tow 36,000 pounds. Of course, they want to beat Ford, so they add a little bit more extra to it. I'm not a fan of GM products. I would never buy a Silverado, but their Super Duty stuff, their heavy duty stuff is actually quite well made. You can get all kinds of combinations of engines, transmissions. They have like 24 different Allison transmissions you can put in them. They're custom made, so they're actually good vehicles. You see a little feature here, they're all getting bigger and bigger, and they add a little bit more to try to beat each other up. But not to be outdone, the 2021 Ram 3500 HD does 37,100 pounds. They added 100 pounds. Now who knows if this is real or not. They just put the figure on, but that's a lot of towing power, right? You get into the heavy duty ones, they're completely different. They're using heavy duty and diesel engines, transmissions. They're not the stuff you buy when you buy the conventional pickup trucks. And of course, if you're into electric trucks, they're starting to come out. They have power, nothing like that, of course. But the 2022 Rivian R1T, it can tow 11,000 pounds. Of course, nothing compared to the monster diesel trucks. And of course, old Elon with his Tesla Cybertruck. He claims it's going to tow 14,000 pounds in the 2022 Tesla Cybertruck, but of course, they haven't been made yet. Who knows if they'll ever be made, what they're going to look like. I don't even think they'll be legal with the shape they have for hitting pedestrians and stuff, but that's what he says it's going to pull. And the Hummer, I'm sure, will pull a lot more, but they're not giving any ratings out on what the big $100,000 plus Hummer is going to pull, the electric Hummer that they're coming out with. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.